I want to start back to January because I was having an issue with blood. I was spot bleeding for the entire month. I went to my OBGYN doctor. My mother having ovarian cancer, a survivor. The doctor was concerned. So ran all kinds of tests. Started coming here to Revelation Church. Well, I was coming since last year, but asked specifically in the prayer box that all tests come back negative. No cancer, and all tests did come back negative, no cancer. So there was one last test, the MRI, because that's the best test to show any malignant tumors. The insurance company would not pay for it because everything was coming back negative. Everything, genetic testing, everything. So I paid out of pocket in faith. I asked Pastor Cam personally to pray that everything would come back negative, and not only that, that nothing would be there. That was my specific prayer. So I didn't share this with Pastor, but I went to a conference in Florida 2 weekends ago. I felt led by the Holy Spirit. I received an email of a conference in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. I arrived on a Friday. It was a Shabbat service. I arrived on a Friday. Within half hour of sitting, the worship leader, a woman, was singing. It was in a church, and she kneeled down after singing, and started speaking in tongues, and said, "I don't know why, but I keep having the image of the woman with the issue of blood." And 2 weeks prior to that, I also felt like the Lord kept showing me that image, and how she touched his garment. And she says, "I don't know who this message is for, but whoever's out there, he wants you to know that you are completely healed, that you don't need prayer anymore or need to go to have your hands laid on you." And I was coming here to the healing services faithfully with that hope and faith that I would be healed completely. So I came this past Sunday to the healing service, and I was faithful, and I didn't come up front for prayer. I actually left early on purpose because I didn't want to be disobedient to God. He told me I was healed.
I didn't want to, I keep on looking at her. I knew what was the situation. That did not know. And you were sitting over there, and when I'm about to call you, God said, "No, don't call her. No, don't call her. No, don't call her." So you never came, and you never were called.
Right. I almost felt like I shouldn't do it. Even I actually came before driving here was just to be in His presence and be in with the Holy Spirit. That was it. And I was having surgery Monday morning. So, I'm sorry. The MRI did come back that I did have 2 cysts and a mass in my left ovary. The doctors again were concerned because the mass had grown from the sonogram to the MRI. So all doom and gloom. All doom and gloom. But I stayed faithful with God and Pastor Cam reassured me that actually the healing service prior to that, he had confessed that I would be healed and I wouldn't need surgery. But I knew the surgery was for the doctors more than for me, and I was okay with that. This is my 4th surgery for this type of situation, so it's not pleasant. I've had cysts in my other ovary, I've had fibroids in my uterus, just ongoing, and I just wanted to be completely healed. I told God I'm tired of these surgeries. I'm just tired of it. It's money, it's time off of work, it's a lot of things, it's pain. So I went in for surgery Monday morning, this past Monday, and continued praying, and I had like a group of people praying for me, not just here, because I visit other churches, other synagogues, and all types of things. So I had at least 15 people or more praying for me, and they all knew my surgery was at 7:30 Monday morning. So I have the surgery. I wake up. My doctor's an OBGYN oncologist, so she had many surgeries. I had to wait in the recovery room. Surgery went well. And I'm just waiting. Finally asked the nurse, and she says, "All right, it's time for you to go home." I'm like, "Well, I'm not leaving until I hear what the doctor has to say about the surgery." So the doctor sent the staff because she was finishing up a surgery, and she sat down, and she says, "Well, we didn't have to do a biopsy." I'm like, "Oh, great." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because there was nothing there." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Nothing." I'm like, nothing? She's like, "Nothing." I'm like, whoa. So The doctor did come. That was just the staff who was in the operating room. I'm like, were you there? She was like, yeah, I was there. I'm like, okay. And I said to her, I started crying, and I said to her, that was my specific prayer. So when the doctor came, she sat down next to me, and she was like, yes, I know they told you everything. She says, I want to show you. So she sits down next to me with pictures upon pictures upon pictures to show me that there is nothing there. And I said to her, I pointed up, I'm like, you know. She's like, yes, I know.
Wow. What do you guys think? Is that amazing?